Hello, students. Hope you all are healthy and hearty at your home. Keep yourself safe, follow the norms of lockdown, and make sure that you are not moving unnecessarily in public. This is probably the toughest time that the humankind has seen after the World War. So, let's understand that we have to continue with what we were doing, and I hope for the best things come soon and we restore to the normalcy. So let's take a quick review. You remember this chart that we had discussed or we were discussing? This is corporate strategies that can be classified into three types: directional strategies, portfolio strategies, and parenting strategies. Corporate strategies, which were one of the three types of strategies or the three levels of strategies. The first level was corporate strategy, the second level was business level strategies, and the third level was operational level strategies. So, out of these three levels of strategies, what we are discussing is corporate strategies. So, under corporate strategies, we have three: directional, portfolio, and parenting strategies. You must be remembering this thing that these directional strategies that provide the overall direction to the corporate, right, where the corporate should move. So these strategies can be further classified into growth strategies. This is stability strategies, right, and then there is retrenchment strategy. We had discussed all the topics about this, all the points of these different types of strategies. These growth strategies are also known as the expansion strategies. These directional strategies are also known as grand strategies, right? The grand strategies, expansion strategies, stability strategies, or retrenchment strategies. So, growth strategies tell you that your organization must grow, right? The things are in favor of your company, the industry is favoring your growth, so you must keep growing. And the ways to grow were either through the vertical growth or horizontal growth. You all must be remembering all these things. Horizontal growth can be achieved through horizontal integration. Vertical growth can be achieved through vertical integration. Vertical integration, you must be able to recall, was of two types: backward integration and forward integration. While horizontal integration was achieved through various options of going ahead of your boundaries and then finding out new options or new amalgamations, strategic alliances, mergers and acquisitions, exporting, franchising. All these were the options: turnkey operations, management contracts. All these are the options through which horizontal growth can be achieved. But the overall motive of these strategies would be the growth. They have to grow whether horizontally or vertically. Similarly, when we talk about this stability strategy, the organization decides categorically that it is going to observe some kind of pause in their movement. And that pause doesn't mean that you are going for the downfall. That pause is necessary sometimes to review the things and then move ahead, right? So these are the stability strategies where the companies cling to the profit strategies. Whatever profit is coming, that would be okay with them. And various examples of that has been given in your notes. Retrenchment strategies is one of the most important strategies where organizations fail to understand that retrenchment is not necessarily the degrowth of the company. Sometimes retrenchment becomes inevitable. It becomes so important that you cannot live without it, right? If you are overweight, you need to reduce, right? That reduction does not show that you are going on a declining trend. That makes you even more healthy. So the organizations have to observe this retrenchment strategy at time when they are growing directionless. So retrenchment strategies are also known as resizing, right sizing kind of strategies where the options can be to divest some of its sister concerns into one, like the example of Birla. So when Kumar Mangalam Birla took over this Birla empire, they had reduced the number of diversified companies and integration process was followed. So rather than diversifying into the many options, it would be better to go for the integration. While in the growth strategies you had seen, there were two prime divisions. One was concentration, right? And the other one was different kind of diversification. So concentration was horizontal and vertical, and diversification again was concentric diversification or conglomerate diversification. So enough about growth strategies, stability strategies, retrenchment strategies. Today, what I am going to discuss with you is portfolio strategies. You know, there are three different views. When we talk about these three different strategies, there are three different views how the owner of the company or the corporate should view its organization. When the owner is understanding or viewing it through directional strategies, it is simply finding out how the organization must move. Right? That's a very important thing. In this one, the owner reviews or views its organization as an investment manager. So, what does an investment manager do for the portfolio it is handling? Such, just you have to imagine, suppose you are having 1 lakh rupees of your client, and for that you have to manage as a portfolio manager, you have to find out different avenues where you will be parking the money of that client. So, how do you divide understanding about what is his age, what are the objectives of the client in the nearest future or the long term planning? So, if a part of that, a chunk of that entire 1 lakh rupees, you will be investing in safer avenues. Some of them would be risky ventures, understanding whether the client is risk averse or risk taker. On that basis, you will decide how much of that entire fund has to be allocated for risky ventures, how much for the safer ventures. So that way, you are behaving and you are actually playing the role of investment manager, being the portfolio manager. Here, the owner of that corporate behaves as the investment manager for the various SBUs it is having. You must be able to recall what is SBU stands for. SBU was strategic business units, and you must also be able to recall and keep this thing in your mind that strategic management is not for a uni business organization. It is essentially for a multi-business organization. So if you are having number of SBUs under your umbrella, then you have to behave like an investment manager. That how I should take money from this share and invest more money in the other share, as an investment manager does. How I should take my money from debt option and go now to equity. Right? Similarly, the investment manager or the owner of that corporate behaving like a portfolio manager, investment manager, is finding out SBU 1, 2, 3, in which SBU there is required some divestment, some reduction of funds, and some SBUs, SBU 2, say, has requirement of additional funds. So that way, the head of that SBU decides how to manage funds from various SBUs. So that is how a portfolio strategy is conducted. Similarly, parenting strategy. Here the role of the head is like a parent and the SBUs are the children. So what kind of parenting characteristics is required? Understanding the key success factors of that child is your acumen about handling and managing your organization. So let us now move to this portfolio strategy. If there is any question in out of these growth, stability, and retrenchment strategies, just ask your questions on the comment box, and then I will be answering you accordingly. Right. So, what are portfolio strategies that we will beginning of this topic? So, as discussed, portfolio strategy, the head becomes an investment manager, he is the head of that corporate. This can be the founder, this can be the chief officers, right? So, investment manager and the SBUs, these become the scripts or the investment options. So, what does an investment manager do with the scripts the portfolio is having or the investment option he is having? He understands which are the favorable conditions of which organization, which various options are having favorable conditions for its growth, right? So more money is required, so it will take some money out of it and invest in other options. So basically, this portfolio strategies are um, handled through of the various very important tools, right? So the first tool is BCG, growth share matrix, right? BCG growth share matrix. The other one is GE9 cell. You must be wondering what is this GE and what is BCG. So BCG stands for Boston Consulting Group and G stands for General Electric. So these are the two management consultants who are practitioners of management as well. So they advise or consult various organizations how to move ahead in different circumstances. What are the risk and opportunities? What are the ETOP analysis, environmental threat and opportunity analysis? Which organization is vulnerable to various kinds of different kinds of changes. So these are the two tools that are used for understanding that which option needs investment, which option needs to be funds to be withdrawn from it, which option needs funds but in a profit strategy manner. You can keep taking funds out of it, right? So that all kind of portfolio management is conducted through these two tools that we'll be discussing. So today I'll be giving you a brief about what is BCG's growth share matrix. BCG's growth share matrix, right? So understand this. Under this growth share matrix, there are two different viewpoints which form the axis of your BCG growth share matrix. So what are these axes? Let's understand that the first is the business growth or the industry growth. So business growth rate, right? While the other one, the other axis talks about the relative market share, right? So out of these two concepts, two various axes, what we will derive. So the first axis is telling you that how your business is growing. The other axis telling is what is the relative market share. So understand, when you are talking about the business growth, growth less than say 4%. So this was 1, 2, 3, 4%, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, This is very high growth rate. If the industry or business is growing at the rate of say 15%, 20%, this is fairly high. And this is what? This is very important to understand that at this point we will be having very high relative market share. What it is, I will tell you. This is 9x, this is 8x, 7x, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Now, then degrowth starts, right? So, if you say that you are 10x, what does it mean? It simply means that your nearest competitor is 10 times to your revenue, to your size, is 1/10 to your revenues or your size, right? And you are the leader of that market. So if I am having 1000 crore, say, as my revenues maybe, or if my market share into that terms of the entire industry, if I am having 10 crore, the nearest and I am the leader of that industry, then the nearest competitor is the size of 100 crore only. Then my relative market share is 10x. Is that understandable? So, whenever you are at more than 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? This is a 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, up to this point, you are the leader, right? So, if you are 1x, then your competitor is your rival. So, both of you are having 550 crores. So the other competitor, the nearest competitor is also 550 crore. You are 1x. Less than 1, you are the second number, third number, fourth number. And if you are 1/10 to the market leader, then you are at 0.1. I hope it is understandable. Right? So in this case, this is the business growth rate. Your business is flourishing and you are doing pretty well. This is 10%, this is 15%, this is 20%, this is all this. The stars are favoring you. It's really good. But in this other case, there would be different other kinds of market shares. Now, in this situation, what happens? You have to identify, like if I am XYZ company and I'm having, say, 6 SBUs, strategic business units. So I, being an investment manager, because now I'm taking care of this portfolio strategy. So as an investment manager, I would understand that SBU one of my entire gamut or of the business, SBU one is having, suppose, 6x relative market share. And then the industry is growing or the business growth is more than 10%, say this is 12%. So this is the cross section where I lie. So this is the position of my SBU1. Similarly, if any other of the SBUs is having very low market share and also the business growth is not favorable, so this is SBU1, this is SBU2. Similarly, if your SBU is at 1, right, and the market is favoring you, you are here, SBU3.